and I don't want nobody to be scared when they see this. I'm totally in another space right now. I remember searching for my dad, and I remember telling my mom that I don't want to be on this earth no more. Um, and then I remember just having dreams, like I just don't want to be here. But then I remember I had a dream that my dad was, I don't know what kind of car we was on, but we was just laying on the car looking up in the sky. And he was like, I'm okay. Keep going. I'm okay.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a special guest in the building. He usually does the interviews, doesn't get interviewed. One of the best, I don't know if best the words, but top goalkeepers. I'm using your words in Chicago. You've been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and man, you're just one of the best to be doing it. Peprally Takeover, just jumped over to WGCI.
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
I go by HotRod. I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna put too much titles on everything because I don't want anything I say. I don't want it to go back towards that. But I would just say somebody just asked me that question today, like if you have to identify yourself, like who will HotRod be? And I wouldn't say a radio personality. I wouldn't say a DJ or anything like that. I just say a creator because I just like creating. Like I like creating with my friends. I just like whatever the purpose is that God put me on this path. Like I just like keep going. Like I don't ever want to be just titled as something, and then you get stuck in that lane of just being that. Like that's why you don't see DJ in front of Hot Rod name.
How long do you think it took you to just want that label of creator? Because at some point, right, that's a decision you make. Most people, you started off DJing
Yeah.
and then you started doing all this other shit. You became an activist. So what was it that really helped you understand, like, no, I just want to be a creator. I want to be labeled as that?
I think that came like a few years ago. Not even a few years ago, like probably because I'm 36 now. So probably like 30s when I kind of like shift away from one of my mentors and had to figure myself out and figure out who I am as a person. Like I didn't want to fall into that. I mean, I didn't want to fall into that lane of that group of people. I was just saying, but I didn't want to fall into that lane of just radio personality or a DJ or people I looked up to. I want to be me. I want to be somebody that I like that make me happy. Like, don't get me wrong, being a radio personality is super fun. Is super dope. I get to help as many people as I can. I mean, people influence off what I've done, but I think more the purpose of it. Like, I got kids now, and then it's kids that look up to me. Like, I want to influence them. I want them to like, damn, I want to do what he doing, or I want to create it. I want to be a part of this and this and this. So I think that's what kind of like steered me from just being labeled as you're just a radio personality. Like, I got a bigger purpose than radio personality. That's one of my mentors told me, said, man, you renting that seat. It's gonna be somebody hotter than you or somebody next up right after you. And somebody else told me, hey, you got 2 weeks and then they're gonna forget you. Now, this is recent. So when they told me that, I sat on that shit for a while. But then I looked, I said, nah, that's wrong because I got so much behind me from Peprally Takeover to everything I do in the community.
I don't want to be messy and shit, but did they say that because of the jump?
It wasn't because of the jump. It was probably more of just the situations I was going through.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last 2-3 years probably been like kind of tough. And I say that being tough as being a radio personality, like just a lot of messy stuff happened. And I roll with the punches. I had my downfalls and all that stuff, and I fell into depression, and but I kept moving forward.
Life was lifing,
Yeah,
bro.
life was very much lifing. And then on top, relationships, family, losing my father, and You know, when you lose somebody, it don't just go away after a year or a few months or 2 years or something. Like it sits with you because you that's somebody that meant the world to you. So I'm battling that, and then still trying to be the light in the studio and help everybody. And I think it's like it's a movie I was watching. I want to say the Joker, like a clown. Like I ain't calling myself a clown, but then again, kind of, sort of, not in that bad way, but just more of like
The idea of a clown.
yeah, like I'm always smiling, but you never know what I'm going through. But I got to keep this smile on my face.
When you're going through all that shit, we were just talking about this yesterday, that there's this hole that you're in, and especially as a DJ, as somebody that's a public figure, you have to showcase this lit side. So nobody actually knows what's going on with you.
No.
The only people that know are the ones that are around you. And even then, because you're this public figure, they're wondering like, well, why is he sad for real?
Yeah. I mean,
He's got all this shit that's happening, right? Because you look at Peprally Takeover, you look at the social media side, and everything's up. You're going school to school, helping out all these kids, inspiring people, and bringing celebrities, Young Thug, Bryson Tiller, like, for real, bringing people out, right?
yeah.
So when you look at that part, it's like, damn, there really is more to life than what meets the eye, because I'm going through this shit and nobody even knows.
Yeah.
Your dad, that was somebody that's super important to you. Right before he passed, you mentioned that you wanted to have your kid so that he could see you become a father. How has he influenced you in the way that you carry yourself as a parent?
I call my dad my superhero. Like he's definitely my guardian angel right now. It's crazy. These numbers I always see is 222. And if you look up 222, it's a guardian angel that's following you and helping you. But him just raising me, like I came from a two-parent home. Thankfully, my dad was there, my mom was there. Even though when they was battling, stuff that they was going through, you just always grow up and be like, man, when I become a father, I want to be just like this guy. Like, and I remember we was holding the gender reveal from my dad, or holding a secret. But no, we was holding the gender reveal from my dad, like of what what it was gonna be, a girl or boy. I remember it was 2 days before he had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital. And I rushed, left work, got to the hospital, and that was one thing I used to always. Nobody don't know this. I used to always go to the hospital before my shift. Like I used to sit in the hospital, probably be a few minutes late to work, but I didn't care. Like I'm spending time with my dad. But I remember that specific day, he had these tubes down his throat, and we sitting in the lobby, and then I asked, "Can I go see him?" And he looked over, and it's like he was trying to talk. He was conscious, and I was like, I just started breaking down crying. I was like, "Man, you got to stick around. Your grandson want to see you." And I saw the light in his eye. He was just like, can't talk, but he just like, he stuck around for about a good 7, 8 months. And then I went away with Chance to Vegas. And this is like something I told people, and just life, like, if any of my parents were ever passed away while I was out of town, the world would never heard from me again. And I had a son, so I couldn't abandon him. But I was in Vegas, and I remember my guy B-Man knocking on my door because the mother of my children called, and everybody trying to call me, but really I was tapped out. My mind was like, I did this open mic, the kids going crazy. I didn't even look back at the footage. I haven't even never looked back at that footage, but it was a special moment. I remember it because it felt like something was like, damn, we just killed Vegas and some kids that we don't even know. And got that call. Like I said, I told myself, I was like, man, I'll leave this earth. Like, I don't want to, I'll be homeless. I'll run away. Like, but I couldn't run away because I had a kid. And I thought about everything. And someone was telling me, like, just go home. But Probably like the longest day of my life. Like sitting in the airport for about 6, 7 hours waiting on the flight. Then to get back and have to deal with, all the grievance and all that stuff. So, but I always told myself like, I just want to be the father that he was to me. Like I didn't even celebrate my birthday this year. I used my birthday for Christmas because I didn't get a chance to spend time with my kids. And I did a Christmas like how my dad used to do me. All the toys out on the floor. They come downstairs and they see all these toys.
I got goosebumps from that story. I knew the story already, but you telling me the story like in person, it's just one of those things that's like your biggest fear, right? Something happening to your parents and you're not even there. You're in a whole nother state. To think about that shit, what that feeling would be like, where did that place you mentally?
I always told myself I'd never do therapy, but at the end of the day, I think my life and my story could probably motivate somebody. And another reason why I don't do interviews, because I don't want to put all my business out there. But I mean, it's a new year, and I'm in a good space right now. So, but mentally, probably, I would say honestly, I definitely wanted to commit suicide. I remember searching for my dad gun. And I don't want nobody to be scared when they see this. Like I'm totally in another space right now. I remember searching for my dad gun. I remember telling my mom that I don't want to be on this earth no more. And then I remember just having dreams like I just don't want to be here. But then I remember I had a dream that my dad was, I don't know what kind of car we was on, but we was just laying on the car looking up in the sky. And he was like, I'm okay. Keep going. I'm okay. And then if you look back at my post from last year, around November, I took a trip to Utah. And this is crazy because probably nobody, I don't know if you're spiritual.
I mean, I believe in God.
You believe in God?
Mm-hmm.
You believe in ghosts?
Believe in ghosts?
Or you believe in spirits? Like
I believe there's signs in this world.
I think it's signs, yeah. Like spiritual signs and all that. So I had a spiritual dream. Man, a place I'd never even thought of, but it's close to where I was at 4 years ago, which was in Vegas. My dad came in my dream and he was like, "Come see me, meet me here." And it was an open area, just land, just all land, but on top of a mountain. And he's like, "Come see me, come meet me here." And I woke up and I remembered that vision of how I looked, and I'm thinking like, "Oh, this my dad's my angel." So I typed in angel, and as soon as it popped up, angel landing. And I was like, angel landing? Right outside of Utah, 2 hours away from Vegas, one of the highest peaks in the United States. You got to get approved to climb up there. I didn't get approved, but luckily I was walking with the park ranger, and he didn't know I didn't get approved, but we was already talking, and he's like, "Oh, you good?" But he stopped everybody else. And I just kept going. And I was like, I got to the top. My guy B-Man was with me. He didn't make it to the top. But he was like, "Go ahead. I know this is something that you need." So I went up there. I stayed up there about like 40 minutes, broke down crying, talked to my dad, called my mom. But that's why I asked you, do you believe it? Like, it was a weird dream, but it was like, it really wasn't a weird dream. It was like, damn, my dad talking to me, or my dad's with me.
Everybody has their own journey, and to go through something like that and be on your path of healing, because you were in a dark place.
Oh, that was super dark place.
That was like,
yeah,
that close.
I was like over this shit. Like, this industry it's so draining, bro. Like, and I applaud you. You're 23, you in it now. Like, I got in it at 23, but you say you started 3 years ago. At 20, like, I got in it probably like 23, 24. We was at Chicago State, like, and we was doing interviews with all the up-and-coming people that's popping now, like, Tink, Dreezy, King Louis,
Chance,
the Hudson brothers, Philip and Emmanuel Hudson, like, I mean, the list goes on, like, I mean, and it was fun back then because it was something we really wanted to do. Like, she was helping us out. My sister Shay, like, we were just having fun. Like, and not saying it's not fun now, it's just the industry in Chicago is so, like, gatekeeped. And nobody not helping each other, nobody not applauding each other, nobody not applauding like the real people that's really helping and doing people. They just applauding the popular people, and that shit is not cool. Like don't just applaud people just because you see what Sad Boy and them doing, like, and not saying like y'all doing a great job,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just using this as an example, or I can use myself as an example. Like, see what HotRod doing just because you see me out so much, but you really don't know what I'm doing, or you really don't know. You just saying that because
You see what social media
yeah,
says.
you see what social media giving, or you see what I'm putting on social media. I could be a fucking asshole, like I could be like a prick, like I could be using motherfuckers, but I don't know, it's just little stuff. Like this industry is really crazy. You're young in it. I'm letting you know right now. This shit is not fair.
Do you think it's more so once that want and that chase for money starts, that it becomes less fun?
Me, it's not about money. Like I care. Like I go get a job. I literally proved myself that last year. I was working at Power, and I was like, I'm gonna get a job at Chicago Park District. But I did that to humble my mind because again, you get these thoughts like this shit don't last. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to get fired, which I already did. I got fired, but I don't want to get fired and be like, I'm going into the real workforce now, and people looking at me like, ain't you HotRod? Ain't
Mhm.
you such from? And I'm like, yeah. And now I'm in this depression mode because I'm living on some that I used to be HotRod and not living my true meaning of who I am. I'm Rodney. Like that's why you see in my bio it say Rodney. Like, of course, my ad name is HotRod, but I'm a champion my real name because at the end of the day, I gotta be me.
I want to take it back real quick just because I want to be able to move on from that specific part. And we can obviously talk about the professional part, but, losing your dad and having your son. How did your son help you heal those wounds from when you lost your dad?
It just gave me another side of motivation. Like it ain't about you no more. It's about those two boys. Like raising them well, leaving a great impression on the world. Like leaving those good footsteps for them to follow. Just being that father. There's a lot of people out here that I always look at shit like, damn, how people be dads? Or don't want to take care of their kids, and maybe baby mama drama sometime. But at the end of the day, some of that stuff you got to like put to the side and this. You brought this kid didn't ask to be on the earth. Like you went raw and shot the club. But like my focus is my kids. Anything I do is for my kids. So I love being a father. That's before everything. And I remember telling that to one of my bosses. It was a snowstorm. I said, "Nigga, I'm going home. I'm not about to sit and get in no car accident. I'm about to go see my family. My family's way more important than this. Like I want to be at home. I want to see my kids go to sleep. I want to see all that. So when you got a purpose, like of what you grinding for, like somebody you got to take care of, it's gonna go straight through the roof. Like, bro, like I know my grind it's probably slowed down a little bit because I got responsibilities, but my mind stayed in my head. Like I just limit myself to what I'm doing, like what I'm creating and all that stuff. I make sure it's super impactful. Like you say, Peprally Takeover, zone in more on that. Jordan's Jumpman series, stuff like that. Like, being on the radio, like it's a different feel, man. Like raising my sons is amazing.
So change is something that you've been facing a lot, especially over these past few years.
Yeah.
Becoming a dad, going through all these different things. How have you seen yourself change?
I don't rant no more. I used to rant a lot. I used to like just talk shit, like not even talk shit, but just expose a lot of shit, like just saying shit on the internet. Um, I don't do that no more. I don't feed into the negativity no more. I don't pay attention to a lot of blogs. I don't pay attention to a lot of negative stuff. Like my my algorithm, my feed, what I look at is all funny stuff. Like I just want to smile, I want to be happy. Like I stay out the way. Like probably back in the day, I used to like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go party, or we're gonna do stuff. Like I'm really a homebody. Like I ain't got time to be.
So you focus more on the positive at this point.
Yeah, it's all positive for me. Like, if you ain't positive around me, or you ain't smiling, or you ain't trying to have fun, or you ain't trying to create, you don't need to be around me. Like, well, if you ain't, like, if we ain't creating together, you don't need to be around me.
You and collaboration are another thing. You know, you've been collabing with so many different artists since forever.
Yeah.
You're the reason why a lot of people have blown up, right? You had a hand in the Young Ma record going crazy.
Yeah.
You brought Chance on after a 10-day. Juice World, you helped break his record. So collaboration has been number one for you from day one. From Aaron Rodney and TTU Radio,
it's crazy.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
high school. The Aaron Rodney. That's high school.
But you've been doing this premiering new music thing. Why have you let it become a staple of HotRod?
The fact that you know about the Aaron Rodney is nuts, but that's great journalism. I just like collabing. I like helping people. I think that was one of my main goals when I was in college radio. Is like, damn, if I ever get this spot, like, let me help people. Even when I was doing TTU radio, it's like, let's premiere new music. Like, let's make the radio sound different. And you know, my studies when I was in school, like, I was studying LA Leakers. I was studying Tone and Shag. I was studying DJ Ferris. I was studying Mike Love and the Diaz, you know, Tony Schofield, all them, you know, Tifa, DJ Timbuktu. Like, I was studying all these people because I was like, what if I could bring all that into one and make, like, you know, just like a nice little radio show like that. And I had the chance to do it. The only thing, you know, it really motivated me was when I went to LA. I used to always go to LA and I used to stay on her brother's couch. And I used to stay on like some other friends' couches and stuff. I used to stay out there for like 2 weeks. But I used to always go to Power 106. And it was something that really, like, again, punched me in the jaw. Because it was somebody I looked up to. I sat in the studio with these people and I was like, man, I got this idea because y'all do it new at 2, and you know, y'all do this new at 12 and stuff, and y'all do these top 5 songs. I kind of want to do a list. I want to create this list of like 10 new songs that people not really tapping into. And I want to call it like, what's HotRod? And they sat there and they laughed at me, blatantly in my face, laughed at me. Oh, this is, I don't know if that'll work, but good luck. It lives rent-free in my head. Because I remember when I sat on her brother's couch and I sat there for like 2 days, and I think your brother was the first person to make his girlfriend was the first person to make that list. She was the first person to make the list. What's HotRod? And it was Sob on there. It was Young and May. It was, I think, Drum. All these up-and-coming artists that nobody didn't know about.
Was that before Broccoli or after Broccoli?
I think that was all them new songs when he was first coming out. Everybody was just looking at like, who the fuck is Drum? And, you know, I like the cha-cha, all that stuff. Like, I remember Don Benjamin being on there. I'm sorry. It was just Bibby. It was everybody on there. And I was just like, oh, this gonna hit. And I put it on Twitter. And I remember all of them reposting it, sharing it. And I remember people looking and everybody like, fuck is this list? What is this list going? What is this happening? All of a sudden, here you go. Now I'm about to expose names. Oh, here go Just 10. Funkmaster Flex got a playlist. You know, then it started getting crazy when the people in the city started grabbing the list and started making their own list. And I was like, I remember my homegirl called me out in Dallas, and she was like, Rod, I just want to give you your flowers. You created something so crazy that everybody's doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking around the industry and I saw everybody doing it. Like, to the point where now you got Apple. Now you got Apple playlists. Now you got Spotify playlists. I'm humbly enough to say I'm the nigga that started the playlist it. Because I remember during that time, nobody didn't have a playlist out. It wasn't no playlists out on social media. Like how you see stuff like, oh, it's a list of songs that you should check out. I stand in front of anybody in their face and say I'm the one that started that shit.
I was gonna say, so you're the one that basically started this what's hot playlist type shit.
Anybody, I say it right. If anybody got some facts or to say that they made that shit first, please DM me and say it, because I know for a fact that I'm the first person, because I'm the one that got laughed at at Power 106.
Shit, well, I gotta give you your flowers then, cause I just fucking put out a playlist. That's like a staple of what you gotta do in social media when you're in music now, right?
Yeah, but I didn't do it for like cloud, or I didn't do it for like, a lot of people, I ain't saying y'all, but a lot of people was doing the list just to get the artists to support them and everything. I wasn't doing it for that. I was doing it more like, hey man, this song dope. What we missing out on? That's playlist. And then my goal was to get that list on the radio so these songs could get played. Like, that was my main goal. Like, it wasn't no like, oh man, I want these artists to fuck with me and all this. Like, I don't care if y'all don't fuck with me. I like music. Like, I like your music, so I'm just gonna put this on my list. I remember putting two people that beef with each other on the list. I think that was Duck and King Von. And I remember Duck posted the list up because he said it's dope. Ruger same way. They posted the list up because it's dope. Like, I don't care about y'all beef or anything. I'm supporting your music. Like, I want to put an image out there. Like, we have dope music out here.
Why collaboration? Why has it always been so important to you? Why did you feel the need to showcase these artists? Because it's not something you needed to do.
Well, artists and this collaboration period, if you use the word collaboration, I feel like everybody needs to collab with somebody to make this city dope and great. This is slogan around the city, build the crib. Crib not being built because it's so separated. Like, and that's another thing like with the goalkeeper list. Like, I think I was in it in the article, and I was in it for the first, I was on the first one. But it's just lists like that I don't like because you still separating people. Like you always gonna miss somebody. You're gonna miss somebody. So, like, why create a list if you're gonna miss somebody? Because if you go back and look at all them comments, everybody is tagging somebody. Oh, you forgot about this person. Oh, you forgot about this person. Because you don't know what everybody's doing. You're just going off popularity. And then after that, you're just like, and I'm not shaming them, like, great article, great journalism. You're doing your research. Good job. But at the end of the day, I just don't like lists like that because you still separating the city. Like, it's a lot of people out here doing dope stuff. And then you're kind of like leveling people of like you putting too many people like on a stature acting like they doing something when they really not.
And that's not something I thought about. That's why I'm taking a minute to be like, yeah, that's crazy, right? Because
it's dope. Everybody on the list is dope. Don't get me wrong. Everybody on the list is dope in their own ways. But some of them people, a lot of people on them lists, don't deserve to be on a list like that.
I think the one thing that that made sure you like made the people that are doing shit stand out, and I'm probably just saying this because I got a paragraph, but those people got a paragraph, you know what I'm saying? When I looked at the podcast section, right, you got Real Ones, you got Treehouse, and maybe it's because, there's a personal connection, but those are the other two platforms that I see that are popping on a consistent basis. So that's kind of like how I differentiated it, but obviously, like, who knows, right? That's my perspective, and I might just be biased. But for you, right, with the playlist, you're creating a list too. Mm-hmm. So you might be missing somebody as well. Yeah. I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? I'm not trying to start anything. But what I'm saying is, right, because you mentioned in any list, somebody's going to get left off of it. So how did you, balance that out or even deal with the
DMs,
fact?
My DMs used to go crazy. Even when I used to make a Chicago playlist of like, this is all Chicago music I'm going to play on the radio. And my DMs just be like, oh, you left out such and such, just and such. But that made me go check out such and such, such and such. Like, and then I'll put them on the next playlist. But then again, a lot of these artists don't know about clean music. They don't know how to properly go to the studio and get a service pack. So I can't play your music. Like, I'm not about to sit and edit your music. You're not paying me. But at the end of the day, like, you're right. Like, it's some people I missed out on. I missed out on a lot of people. But I'll say majority I got right.
How many plaques you got from it?
I deserve a lot more plaques, but I got at home, I got CJ for Whoopty. Of course, I got Juice WRLD plaque. I got Toby Lou plaque, Young and May. I think that's it. But I deserve a lot more. I'll say it right now, I deserve a Jack Harlow What's Poppin' plaque. I probably deserve a few Dreezy plaques. Lil Nas X. I remember getting laughed at for playing that song. I actually got in trouble.
Was that which one?
That was Old Town Road. I deserve a Jaden Smith plaque for Icon. I remember a specific DJ told me, "Man, Rod, you've been hitting on all of them, but this one you kind of missed." And I looked at it and I said, "You for real?" And I said, "Okay." And man, that was one of the top stadium songs at all basketball games. So I'm like, I know I want tweaking or nothing like that, but yeah, it's a few plaques out there that I would love to have just because I know what I put into that.
What is it that makes you have that feeling that like, hey, this is the one?
I don't know. It's just like a certain sound, like you hear it, and I always test it out with the kids too. That's one big thing. That's why I like Peprally Takeover. That's another plaque. Cowboy. Envy Me. I would say Envy Me. I should definitely have got one of those.
I've heard the name. I don't think I've checked out his music like that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's fine though. Like, that's why I say like lists. That's why I stopped creating my list. Because I'm always miss out on somebody. And then I get shamed upon, like that vlog is getting shamed upon. Some people shamed upon, but some people uplifting, like, oh man, this is dope. And man, the concept of it is super dope. But it's just you're always gonna miss out on somebody. Or somebody's gonna miss it. It's a feeling that's gonna be lost.
You mentioned something right there though, the Peprally Takeover. We haven't given it as much of a highlight yet that I would like to give it.
Yeah.
We actually started with the end of the outline, talking about your dad and your sons. That was supposed to be at the very end, but fuck it. Hey, you know how it is. Talk about Peprally Takeover. What made you even start this whole thing? Because it's such an amazing and unique experience that you're creating for these kids.
We started, but I want to say 2013, 2014. I think the idea came, we were sitting in like DuSable High School. And I think we did like a funny video. We was on street team. We did a funny video. I was like on stage and they was behind me. It was like her and somebody else. And we was like acting like an audition, waiting on the kids to come down. But I think from that point when the kids came down, because that was the day T.I. came. It's been a journey, man. Like I say, her, I got Q, and then the team, just team up and down with people. But I do got to show everybody love, like Steven, Miguel, DJ B, man, rest up to see it. Even like the people that like left, like Brandy from Lakeshore High, my homegirl Bree. I don't know if I forget something. Rashad. I hope I ain't forgetting nobody else. But the whole team, I feel like we created something special.
This is going to be some real deep journalism. Do you feel like watching your dad protect the community, because he was a cop, right? Doing his work with the community pushed you in this endeavor to give back to the community in your own way?
I wouldn't say that's the reason why I created Peprally Takeover, or like just so passionate about it because he, protected the community and stuff. It was just another feel, like remembering when we was in high school and how high school used to be. Like you go back and you look, like this generation now compared to my generation in high school, ain't no school spirit. And that's what I'm trying to bring back. I'm trying to bring back that school spirit, like have kids, like, Spirit Week and all that stuff. And, I think this generation is more a mental health. Like that's really at the top. Like back when we was in high school, it wasn't no mental health. Like, get you some ginger ale. like, I mean, I ain't shaming on mental health, but it's just like we went through stuff, but we kept going. Like we didn't go sit in the counselor office and talk about what's going on. But I'm trying to bring that happiness and connect people, that connection word in, like, connect people all in the schools, like let the principals be cool with the kids. The kids be, understand the principals. Like, I think when we was in school, like we was cool with everybody, like to the point where I was selling CDs to the principal, to the police officers, all that stuff. Because it was just like going to high school was fun. Like it was something new every day. I remember just sitting on the third floor selling CDs
You're funny as hell, dude.
I'm telling you, I used to be on the third floor selling CDs. I used to sell McGriddles on the bus. I used to go buy McGriddles from McDonald's and sell them.
What was your profit on that?
I made a lot of money because nobody eat breakfast.
But what were you selling them for?
I think I was selling them like $10.
$10.
But I was just like two for 10. or
2 for
something.
10.
Yeah.
You were finessing.
I was finessing.
You were
But hey,
finessing.
if you hungry on the bus, you gonna bat that motherfucker. Especially we play baseball, so we going to a game early in the morning. You ain't get time to eat. Hey, I was like, what's the dude from the longest yard?
I would have been mad as hell at you if you were my teammates telling
Why
me
would you
some
be mad?
breakfast and shit.
I mean, hey, you the one that didn't eat, so you hungry and you need your energy. I'm on the bench, so it really don't matter to me.
You said baseball or basketball?
Baseball.
But you went and played basketball.
I played basketball in college. I did baseball to keep me out of trouble because it was like one of those spring, and I just needed something to do. I played baseball when I was younger too, but when I got in high school, I wanted to focus on baseball. I was more focused on basketball because I was like hustling niggas, like going to the parks and playing for money. I was a hustler. I'm sorry.
It never ended, huh? Because
Nah.
you're still out here doing your thing doing different things, right?
Yeah.
You take it back to you're a DJ, you're an activist, you're a creator.
Yeah.
You're literally everything, bro.
Now, shit, I'm a photographer too.
I forgot about that one, right?
I got that camera.
How hidden is the page?
I don't touch it no more. It's out there, but I don't even tell people what it is.
How come?
I mean, because I haven't really been on it, and I haven't had a chance to really like get back to exploring it and having time to do it. So, but when I did do it, it did some numbers. I got published a lot. I think what was that Taraji P's few things. I was in a lot of articles for them photos. So
Was this while you were at Power?
I went to Power because of Tone. I remember first meeting Tone. I told him, I was like, "Oh shit, you Tone from GCI?" He was like, "Nah, nigga, I'm Power." And I was like, "Oh, my bad." But I was like, "Man, I want to intern and I want to be on the." But I was always hooping with him and everything. And then I remember that day he called me. He was like, "Hey, meet me here at 1:45. Don't be late." And I got there, 1:45. And I remember I used to stay there from 2 to 6 sometimes. Then I used to stay from 2 to 10. Then I probably stay like an hour because I wasn't really cool with Ferris. So I used to stay like an hour into Ferris show. But Ferris sold to itself. So it's like, I can't really, be in there with him. But I used to stay there for a long time every day.
Dedicated, bro. I mean, just building your brand, building who you are, and the skills, right? You can be putting those 10,000 hours.
Overnight, I mean, we used to do air checks. Yeah, if I look back at my air checks now, them shits is terrible.
What the fuck is an air check?
An air check is like us recording our voice, like a mock show type feel. Like, so, but having to read, you got to read a lot and create a show.
So being at Power, how do you feel like it helps set the foundation for
right now?
Yeah.
It helped me grow. A nice chunk of those years, ending of those years was very stressful and depressing. But the beginning of those years, I would say actually it was dope. I was creating a lot. I was helping people a lot. I was doing videos, coming up with different visions on how I would love to see the station. Then even when my first show, when I was full-time, bringing Chance and Jeremiah on. And I remember somebody telling me, like, this shit is terrible. This sounds like college radio. You made a big mistake on this guy. Oh, okay. A day later, Complex wants this audio. Hot 97 wants this audio. iTunes, Apple want this audio. Everybody wants this show. And I remember one of my bosses said, "Hey, tell that guy to shut the fuck up. We know what we did." And that's, it kind of bothered me because I don't hear from him no more. And I understand it's a business, but that was probably the one guy that I was like, thank you. Like, you see the vision. And then I remember that after hearing that shit, it made my grind go all the way up. Like, oh, okay, I'm about to bring in Juice WRLD. I'm about to bring in Dreezy. I'm about to bring in Bibby. I'm about to bring in all these artists that you saw that one year.
Was that the same year you brought in Saba?
That was Saba. That was like literally, yep, that was Saba. Yep. That was that year. I brought in Saba. I brought in all them artists. Everything was Moneybagg Yo was just starting, like, who else? There was a lot of artists that came through. But it was dope as hell because it was like, it made radio fun again. Like, and then I think when people I remember somebody telling me, it was like, you ruffling a lot of feathers because you bringing everybody in here And, the radio code, whatever, and I'll tell you that off camera, but the radio code, you ain't doing it, you moving like this. You just moving people out the way. You just going straight. And I said, well, that's my goal. Like,
What the fuck else are you supposed to do?
why the fuck would I wait in line for y'all? Like, I'm not waiting in line for nobody. Like, this is my journey. Like, y'all want people to stand in line and be up next after certain people, I'm not trying to be that person. I don't care about being the number one radio jockey. I don't care about being the number one night host or number one DJ or anything like that. Well, I ain't saying night host, I'm saying number one host in the clubs or anything like that. Everybody got these titles of they the number one and all this, and they big record breakers and all that stuff. Like, I don't care about none of that shit. I gotta go, I got a vision, and I want to create and I want to have fun. Like, so I just kept going, and that's when the shit started spiraling downhill because everybody started coming over rumors and saying stupid shit and saying like this wild shit. So
It really gets like that, huh?
it really, because people get jealous. They get jealous of your journey. They get jealous of seeing what you're doing, and it's like, for what? Be happy for everybody, man. Like, God got His purpose for everybody. God got His purpose for my journey, and that's why I got quiet as fuck. The last, I think, like 2019, 2020, I got quiet as hell because I started falling into this depression. Like, damn, like, motherfuckers ain't really supporting you. I'm this person that want to help everybody, but nobody want to help me. So I was like, that kind of fucked with my head a lot. So I got quiet. I didn't want to bring nobody in the studio no more. I didn't want to do no interviews. I remember I used to turn down interviews from doing shit on Zoom when the pandemic happened. I didn't want to do no interviews with nobody because where these interviews going? I remember I did an interview with Nardo Wick, his first interview. You ain't never seen it. Nobody ain't never seen it because I deleted it. Like, it's not, like, I don't care about that. Like, it's cool.
So you feel like that time in that period of your career really hurt?
Towards the end, like, it hurt a lot because I thought, the people that you think support you and want, happy for you and all that, they not happy for you. Like, they don't care about you. Like, and I see that plain and simple. After I got let go, I ain't heard from nobody, and that's fine.
So why didn't you jump in 2017 when GCI first came to you?
I felt like I had something to prove. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like, how you, like, say you're a basketball player or a sports athlete, and some people go from high school to the league. I feel like I had to go to college first and then go. So I feel like I use power as college. Like, I had to learn. I want to, see that full-time spot. I want to feel that and all that. And I had a chance to show the league what I could do. And I did. I mean, the fact, the fact that they was watching me the whole time and coming up and doing half the same stuff I was doing when I was over there, it was like, cool. Like, I'm gonna get there soon. Don't know when, but I'm gonna get there. So I had to sit back. I wouldn't change nothing about that journey.
I mean, everybody's on their own journey. That's what I tell a lot of the people. There's, I don't want to say the name, but like there's some interviews that, we talk about doing. We've talked to the people and it just doesn't come about, right? Timing's not right or, something. And I just believe that God's timing is always right. When it's meant to happen, it'll happen. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. It wasn't meant for you. There's a quote that people always say, right? That what's meant for me is what's meant for me. And if it's not, then oh well, then I don't need it. Cat Williams was just talking about that shit, right? There's nothing that somebody has that I want, because if I want it, I can go and get it. So that's just kind of how I look at that.
But you gotta understand, like, you being a young journalist, interviews like this, when you just vibing and talking, it's perfect.
My purpose here was never to be like, all right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to run off questions to you, because everybody asks the same questions all the time, and it's not real. I like sit down with people and get to know them, right? I already know the story for the most part. There's going to be something you throw in there that I didn't know, and that's the real shit I like, because then I can just come up with shit and really talk to you instead of just having a question that I already know the answer to, and I'm going to give you the next one. And, but yeah, man, in everybody's journey, you find times where you need to move on. It's just not the situation for you anymore. And there was that hole that you fell into with power where it wasn't fulfilling you anymore. So now you can explain the situation because I don't even know this situation.
I mean, it was just the last few years. It's been like a whole. It was just like you say, no support, bumping heads with people. Nobody sees your vision, and you know nobody wants to grow. You know, again, no support, no communication.
Was that what caused the jump?
Honestly, I don't know what caused the jump. I'm glad I jumped. I said at the top of last year, I felt like power that was gonna be my last year of power. I didn't know what day, but I felt it in my bones. Someone was telling me like, "Hey, this your last year." I remember on my birthday, I said that. I was like, "This is about to be my last year here," and I just didn't know when. But I remember I used to always go in the studio. And I used to tell one of the DJs, I used to be like, "I'm getting fired today. I'm getting fired today." And he was like, "Man, stop saying that." And you know, sometimes when you push shit in the atmosphere, oh, it's gonna happen. But I felt it. I was like, I'm getting fired today. I'm getting fired today. Every time he's come in early, I'm getting fired today. I'm getting fired. And that day when I came in, and he was like, yeah, you need to meet me at 3:30. He said 3:30. I always look back at some of my best friends because that was the time that they had to go in when they got let go. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm getting fired. Yeah, I'm getting fired. It's low key a time. If a nigga say he about to meet you at 3:30 during the day, cause I was even trying to test him. I was like, oh, okay, how about I meet you at 5:30, right before my show? He's like, nah, I got something to do. I got something. I was like, nah, I know what this is. And I was like, it's cool. I just said that. Like, oh, okay, it's cool. All right, I'll be there. And I sat there and I had a smile on my face. I said, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. And I walked out and I said, hey, hold your word, what you said to me 3 years ago. And he did. Took a while, but he did. And I'm happy as hell where I'm at now, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like the appreciation over there, the communication over there, the excitement of me just being over there, like with them, like the upper management, just we happy you're here.
Mm.
What took you so long? I remember one of the big boss said, "What took you so long?"
Mm.
And I'm just like, I had to learn. Like I had to.
You just feel more valued.
I feel more valuable over there. Like,
Mm.
and mind you, I'm on the weekends. Like I told him, I said, I'm not over here trying to. I literally said this time, I'm not over here trying to take nobody's spot. I don't care about that. Like, I did full time. I was full time on radio. I had fun with it. It was fun during the week. I did weekends before. I'm doing weekends again. My goal right now is to accomplish. Hey, how can I turn weekends the fuck up in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
How can I be that impact on weekends? I remember him telling me, he was like, man, I want you to be the crazy Howard McGee or the Herb Kent. When he said Herb Kent, and everybody know who Herb Kent is, that's a legend in radio, and he only had weekends. I want you to be that on weekends. Are you comparing me to these people on the weekend? I got you. So it's now it's go time. It's time to create and shake the city up.
Mm-hmm. And when people instill that faith in you, when they instill that belief, it makes you believe it even more.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why we came over here. You know, nothing against like where I recorded before. That was my boy. He helped me start everything.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, you just start to see like maybe they don't care about this as much as I do.
Exactly.
And that's okay. But you start to feel that, and then there's a little drift right there. So you gotta do your own thing, and everybody's on their own path. And when you feel valued, your product is gonna go up.
And that's another thing. Like they probably didn't see or believe in what everything I was trying to bring. I brought a lot. But I believe in it. That's all that matters. So
What's something you want to accomplish now that you weren't able to before?
I say this humbly. I feel like I accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish. Like I broke records. I you know, at the time I was on Robert Feeder. Like I feel like I changed the dynamic of radio. I feel like a lot of shit that people doing now on radio, I feel like I started a lot of that shit. I feel like I gave the attention back to radio back in 2018. Um, so I think right now my mind, yeah, I want to take over weekends and do this and create, but my mind right now is right trying to get a youth center. I want a youth center. If I can get that out of working, you know, at the radio station, then that'll be, hey, my life complete.
That, I guess that is the next step in what you do,
that's,
right?
that's the next step. It's like, man, get some foundation, get some land, get some kids in there, like, create studios like this, up and coming podcasters like you and radio personalities like you, like, that'd be dope. Like, it's the next generation right after you that's gonna be looking at interviews like this, like, man, I know Sad Boy Radio.
You don't even think about that, especially like
I didn't think
right now, right?
Yeah.
I don't think about that. Sometimes I do. I'm like, damn, like rapper wise, because you don't really see rappers that are young, and when they're young, you don't give them the time of day. So then you got to hit a certain age, and then you start caring. And then I'm like, damn, like how old do I gotta be to start caring about younger rappers? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, shit, man. I know you're gonna do everything that you need to do.
Yeah.
What do you think you have to offer to the younger generation that somebody might have passed down to you before? There had to have been so many mentors that passed down knowledge to you, and you just learning on your own as well.
A lot of my mentors weren't doing what I'm doing, and I think that what made me, like, I think that's what made me special. Like, my mentors was always, oh, we about to go host. We about to go do this and that. Like, oh, we about to go get some money and do this. I don't think I have a mentor that showed me the ropes of, like, going into the schools. Like, we figured that shit out on our own. Like, that's going in, that's getting what we want, how we want to feel. Like, how we want to change the schools and how we want to change the kids. Like, I think at that time, like, that's when a lot of kids, I mean, they still killing each other, but it was like on the rise. Like,
My bad. That's a wild statement.
it is. I mean, but it's a lot of, like, the school system was failing them. I mean, it's still kind of failing them, but that around that time when we started doing them schools, like I said, we was with Chop and all of them, and everybody was doing the gangbang and stuff. And we was trying to change that image of, like, going in there like, nah, let's have fun. Like, we'll bring these artists and they'll talk to y'all. And that's what we did. Like, Chop went in there, took pictures with kids and talked to them, stuff like that.
I'll say, like, the most important thing I think with doing stuff like that is you're showing these kids that this is possible. So you bringing these high profile artists to these communities, and it doesn't even matter what community it is, any high schoolers look at that and they say, like, damn, like, this shit is this close. Like, I didn't even realize it's this close. Like, I went to the social work shit when Chance was doing the open mics and shit, and when he'd bring out a Saba, when he'd bring out a Jeremiah, I'm like, I know I know their music, like, it's really that close. So it's crazy for me now being in the studios when I see certain people come through, and I'm like, I was 16 years old seeing this shit. Now I'm like in the same room type shit.
And that's the goal. Like, man, show them, like, it's not far fetched. Like, even when I go to schools and I talk to them, kids want to do radio. They want to. I used to bring kids to the studio, like, to the radio station. You want to see the radio station? Come on, bring a group of kids. So that used to be actually fun as hell. Like, but yeah, you just gotta motivate. That's my thing. I just want to motivate the next generation to the point where somebody go back and look at, like, hey, HotRod he always helped out, man. Like, he was dope. Like, there's so many kids that come up to me like, man, you did my pep rally back in the, and that made me feel special. Made me feel old, but it made me feel special at the same time. But it's just like, it's cold though. Like, man, I remember that day. Like, every time I go to these schools, I want to make that day the best day of their life. You don't know what these kids going through at home. You don't know, what they battling when they in school. They could come to school depressed. Like, music gonna change that whole mood, and me treating them like a little brother or a little sister gonna change that whole mood. You get, I don't want to touch no kids, but some of these kids, they need a hug. you know, some of the teachers, they need a hug too. Like they going through a lot.
Do you see there being any collaborations with the Peprally Takeover and WGCI?
Absolutely. And that's one thing I didn't get a chance to do at over there.
They didn't want a part in it?
Nah, they told me to take it down.
They told you to take it down?
They told me to take that shit down. They said, leave that on your page. I remember because she was over, we helped start the social media over there. And I remember we was posting it up and they was like, yeah, take that down.
I feel like I might need to ask this just to like clarify it, but so why WGCI?
Timing, perfect timing. My dad wanted me to go over there when they first came for me in 2017. Remember telling me like, he was so mad at me that I didn't accept it. He's like, why? Yeah, why didn't you take it? Why didn't you take it? And I was like, I just don't, you know, they offered me full time. I think this is the, you could grow. And I was like, I know, but he was mad at me. But then he grew and then he started seeing everything I was doing. You know, I was on WGN, but Chicago's very own. Like all the impact stuff I was doing, like with the artists, the schools. You know, I know for damn sure he would have been proud of me right now. I know he's proud of me because spiritually, but all the stuff that I done been doing and creating and hooping with Obama and
You hooped with Obama?
I did. It was actually awesome.
What's up? Is that out there? Did I just? I was gonna say, did I just not do enough research?
I don't know if I put the picture. I don't know the picture out there.
That's crazy.
I got it though. I'll show it to you.
That was raw.
Oh, it was amazing. I was hooping with the president. Like,
was he the president at the time?
No, he wasn't the president. But at the end of the day, like he's the president. He's our president. So it's just dope. Like a lot of people like nobody could say that all the stuff that I done in my career. That's why I said I don't know what's. I think you asked me like what's the next goal or something like that. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what else to accomplish or like besides get my youth center, but I've done everything. Like I had fun at Diddy house. I don't know what else happened at Diddy house, but I know I had fun. But I had that camera right there, and I was walking around as a freelancer, and I was taking. Bro, it's so many. I mean, I was at Diddy house. I took pictures of Diddy and Kendall Jenner that went viral. That's why I say photography. I remember sitting there next to Chris Brown and Party Next Door and Thuggin. That's her name, DMX daughter. DMX daughter, her name Thuggin on IG. Fine as hell. I remember sitting next to them while they smoking and talking. I remember sitting next to Snoop and Too Short as they smoking. But in these situations, you got to act normal. You can't fan out. So I put my camera up, and I remember being on the floor because Diddy had a whole fucking stage floor in his backyard, crazy as hell. Remember being on the dance floor, dancing with Drake Dad. I don't know if I was doing a robot.
So dancing with Drake's dad.
I was dancing with Drake. I can't make none of these stories up. I was sitting there on the dance floor dancing with Drake Dad, and he just talked to me, and we just like vibing out. And Diddy on stage, the locks over here.
How'd you end up at Diddy's house?
LA is a crazy place. You just got to be in the right places at the right time and act normal. That's one thing I loved about LA, and it's a creative space for you. Like if you go out there, I encourage you to go out there and just go just to go.
Mm-hmm.
Free mind type shit. Learn. Like Chicago, you gotta think Chicago is like third, fourth market. I don't know what it is now. At the time it was like third market. LA is second.
New York is one.
So you want to travel to both of these cities and see what they doing and how they doing it. Because at the end of the day, Chicago is still traditional. Chicago is more like late to everything. LA out there, they gonna take a chance. They gonna take a chance. New York gonna take a chance, but LA is something different about LA, and that's why I said I used to be out there.
I'm trying to get out there, bro.
Just go.
Well, that's the plan this year. The plan this year is start going, do interviews out there, do interviews out in New York.
It's gonna take you far, bro.
I say this a lot, and I don't say it in like in a cocky way, but we've done a lot of people in Chicago. We've done a lot of artists. We've sat down with a lot of artists.
Do you feel like you hit the ceiling?
Only at the underground level. Because, I mean, we still got the Chance the Rappers, like all the higher people that we can't reach yet, right?
You call them underground. At the time, Chancellor was probably underground, but I didn't never look at them as underground. They just still artists. Like, so you should always look at everybody just like I just interview him. I just interview him because they gonna end up being him. So I would say just do your research on everybody. If you can't get a chance, like, there's people I want to interview that I haven't had a chance to, but I appreciate the ones that came through my.
I do want to say, like, there's artists that you already know, like, they're about to go. Like a Steve-O. Steve-O's about to go.
Yeah.
You know for a fact that Steve-O's about to go. Asar, you know Asar?
Asar, yeah.
Asar's raw as fuck. This is the part where we'll probably forget about somebody by accident. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know who's about to go that you sat down with, and those are also the people that had really good conversations. Flex.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, artists for me right now, like, man, like I said, I done sat down with a lot of people, or even just interviewed a lot of people. Some interviews was good, some interviews was fucking terrible. I think my worst interview was Lil Baby.
You didn't say shit?
That shit was terrible. But for some reason, it had hella views. But it was like when he first started. And I was so disappointed in myself. And just, not in myself, but just the interview. Because it was like, bro, I brought your record up here. My dog. When nobody didn't believe in that shit. I remember the program director, they didn't believe in that shit. And I brought it up. I was like, I got this shit from DJ Holiday. It's a new artist out there called Lil Baby. Got this song, My Dog. It's always on top 10 down there. Try to play it. It's like, nah, this ain't it. It's a few artists they did that too. Duke Deuce. Nah, this ain't it. He's a rock star. Nah, this nigga's a GD. But I was like, nah, it's a lot of artists that got passed up. But I think, like I said, Lil Baby was one of my worst interviews. Nardo Wick was one of my worst interviews. I remember the shit with Tyrese.
You did an interview with Tyrese?
I didn't interview him, but we was about to fight. I bumped into Nipsey Hussle. I had to talk with him before everybody was on the marathon movement. You know who I want to chill with, honestly? DJ Khaled. I met him a few times, but I feel like he'd be a cool person to just...
He got the same energy for real?
That, I probably have to plead the fifth. I don't think, no. Because when I met him, he was just like, you know, just... It was just... But then when you see him on social media, he was like, man, where this energy at?
Man, I appreciate you sitting down with us, bro. We hit a lot. We definitely hit a lot. And I just want to thank you for your, openness. I know some of these topics aren't necessarily the easiest to talk about, but you're on your journey, bro. Life has been lifing, but obviously you're in a much better place now.
Nah, I appreciate you, man. Keep going. Keep going, bro. Like, stay motivated. Don't let none of this industry stuff, like, take you, like, not take you out of your, don't let it take you out of your space. Like, it could definitely do that. Don't pay attention to none of these vlogs, because they'll put you in a mindset of, like, where you need to be or where you should be, where where you already are. Like, just trust your journey and just keep moving forward.
Man, you want to know something? I feel the opposite about, like, the blogs and shit. Because, like, when I get put in articles, like, I know what I do, but I don't feel that important. It's weird, right? It's like a weird concept to be saying that out loud. Like, I don't feel that important. But when you do certain things and people see it, they make it feel important.
Nah, it's dope to be acknowledged. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's dope to be acknowledged, but just take it, read it, cool. Keep it moving. Because if you take it and read it and you hold on to that shit and say that blog, drop it again, and you ain't know that, you're going to feel some type of way. You don't want to feel in the type of way. So just take it, read it. Thanks for the acknowledgement. Keep it moving. Like, that girl right there, Darshay Goody, should have been in that vlog, because the same people that wrote that vlog, those goalkeeper vlogs, she's the one that gave them their first job in the industry. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of people that you could keep going and say, oh man, this goalkeeper, like, I'm questioning you. What is a goalkeeper? And how many of those goalkeepers do you see collab with each other and do shit? If this is such a great goalkeeping city, and like if we got all these great goalkeepers, why is our industry so fucked up? And why these people not helping each other or collabing with each other? It's a handful of people in that article that I could point out to after we got on camera and show you these are people you need to really talk to.
What do you think needs to be done to really build an industry in Chicago at this point?
Support each other. We gotta support each other. If we don't support each other, ain't nothing about to be built in here. If we don't collab with each other, ain't nothing about to be built in here. If you don't, like, I say that like, it's people that you want to talk to and sit with. You want to talk to a Chance or you want to talk to a Chicago artist, they need to come and sit and talk with you before they go sit and talk with somebody in LA and New York and spill their whole life story. But then they get here and they act like assholes and act like you can't ask them no questions. Like, even with like the influencers in Chicago, like, everybody needs to stop being for self. Like, use your power. Like, I remember we was on this call with Obama, and we came up with this group called Power for Goods. And we got highlighted and everything, but he brought in all these different organizations, and all these different organizations had people in these organizations that already had shit going on, but they all collabed together. But like with us, it was Powers for Goods. It was me and like this girl named Ballnoy Bree, Evie, Tanya from Healthy Hood Shy.
Lozano?
Yeah, yep.
Lozano, Washington. That's my boy, Alan. Shout out, Alan.
Yeah. So they all brought us in, and we all sat and we collabed together. Like, man, we all got our separate shit going on, but for us to sit and collab together and create something super dope, like, that's what everybody in these cities should do. But like, that's why I say I'm not too fond of the, and like I said, I'm mentioning it. I'm mentioning the article of goalkeepers, whatever. But I told the person that created that shit 4 years ago, don't drop that shit. Don't put that out. Because now you're putting the image out there. And I remember he did it back in the day where it was, they numbered it, and I told him don't number it because it gets you in a lot of bullshit that people look at you as you this person, and people get mad. Like, how is he number one? How is he number two or number three? Like, why I ain't on the list and all this stuff. That's what I said. Like, man, this
numbered lists, fuck people up.
Yeah. This one numbered. This was just like giving everybody their flowers. But then again, if we want to build this city, all those people, all those 100 and some people that they named, all the people need. Let's see by the end of this year how many of those people collab with each other and do something with each other. That's real goalkeeping, or that's real, like, goalers, whatever you want to call them.
Goalies?
Goalies. I don't know.
Damn, bro. You don't watch soccer?
I mean,
football?
Nah, I bet on it. But I'm just saying, like, that's the real, though. Like, let's see how many people by the end of this year collab and do a project with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know they're trying to make an event. Oh, y'all should create an event and have everybody in the same room. Let's see who show up. Because a lot of these people, I bet the same people that don't show up is like gonna say, "Oh, I had something to do." No, them same people that this for sale.
Man, you need to be at events like that, like Classic.
Yeah.
Chris Classic, right?
He always do it.
Classic's about to throw an event. I mean, all of us here at the studio, we're about to be over there. Like,
yeah.
I don't even want to say it like that, but like, it's a whole different studio, and we're still popping out. You know what I'm saying? So like, you just gotta realize, like,
bro, when I was at
it's
Power,
it's bigger. It's bigger than just you and whatever you got going on.
When I was at Power, I was trying to connect with people at GCI. Like, there's no hard feelings, none. We're trying to make the city dope and great. Like, it's friendly competition, woo, this and that. Shit, one of my best friends still at Power. Like, it's cool. Like, we could still build and have fun. Like, a lot of these people, they're for self. If you ain't putting no money in their pocket, if they ain't benefiting them or making them, bro, there's nobody fucking with nobody on that list. I'm just telling you right now.
We're going to get into that off camera.
Yeah.
But shit, I appreciate you.
I'm going to get the fucking... No, I appreciate you, dog. For real, this is super dope, man. And I thank you on that. Like I said, I don't do a lot of interviews. And you probably see why. Because I fucking tell the truth. But hey, nah, this is dope, man. Keep going. You 23. You got a long journey ahead of you, for real.
Shit, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying.
Help the next person. You ain't gonna know who that next person is for a little minute. But anybody come in your path, bro, that's my advice to you. Don't be scared to help them. Like, some people might do you dirty and all that shit, but in your heart, if you got a good heart, that shit it's gonna come back and it's gonna bless you 10 times for real. I got blessed so many times.
We see that with what you do, and man, I appreciate that advice, and I'm gonna definitely carry it. Making sure that we're doing our part and shit, whatever we can do. I love to highlight the person. I don't like to highlight the professional, because the professional is one thing, but highlighting the person and showing what they go through and how they ended up where they ended up, I think that's more important, especially in these conversations, because we know HotRod, but who's Rodney?
Well, documentary coming out off air.
Make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.